Hey fellow reefers, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lee. This is Reefer Explained. Today we're taking a look at the Red Sea 250 G2. If you're new to the channel and you like this content, as I said before, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, comment. If you don't like the stuff or you disagree with anything I've said, that's fine. I'd rather get the information correct in the first place and then obviously bring it out on a new updated video to update all of you. Going forward on the display, it's doing really well. Everything it seems to be growing in. You can see that I've got a few small corals dotted around and a lot of kind of wavy corals, which are the LPS, and these are the alves and goniporas. Everything is doing really well since I've started bringing up my level of nitrates and phosphates on nutrient. So basically I had a level of around 5 on nitrates, and I've got up to just over 10 just by dosing NIOS nitrates, and we've brought our phosphates hopefully up from 0.02 to 0.05. You've got to be careful with phosphates because it can get out of control, but you can bring those levels down very quickly, a bit too quick with some RoaPhos in a reactor. So that's not a big deal. Nitrates, I can bring that back down if need be by doing water changes. Kind of gone to once a month now from every 2 weeks. And that's working really well for me. I don't see the point in doing water changes all the time if all you're doing is taking stuff out. As long as you're bringing in nutrients and you've got a way to export that through protein skimming or using filter media, then you shouldn't have an issue, and you've got enough biomedia to support the life system in the tank. So that's where we're at on the display. As I said, we might bring some livestock and stuff in the future. We brought a bunch of cleanup crew critters recently, which was great. We've got one, got a couple down here, but if you can see underneath the arch there, got a hairy pincushion. It's like a white and blue. Got another red one in here somewhere. We've got a bunch of sand sifting snails and tuxedo snails, urchins, red-legged hermit crabs, Halloween crabs. So there's a bunch in here. We've got some big snails here going to town, and that's kept this rock structure. It stripped everything from it. I was having some issues with it. It may have been an imbalance of the nitrate and phosphate slightly, but I do believe it was the cleanup crew that really went to town. I took some of the pieces off and scrubbed them first, but now it's so clean. There's only a little bit of algae right at the top there, and I think that's probably where the nutrients come in from the auto feeder, and then there is a lot of light on that perch, so that's probably why, but it's fine, you know, it's not growing out of control, and the lawnmower blending or the cleanup crew will clean that for me. So there's that. The 2 pieces of equipment that's recently been taken off the tank, I need some plug spaces for future preference, but they've been taken off because they've malfunctioned. And again, nothing to them because it could have been human error, or it could have just been its time, but the thermal view, which is the temperature gauge, it has a display and a probe that goes into your sump, I suppose. It monitors your temperature and gives you alerts and sounds an alarm and text messages and emails. That has been on my old system for many years and it is now failed. So I'm hoping Refactory is going to replace that for me or fix it under warranty or something. But I believe the warranty ran out, but I think it's an error with their software or something that's gone wrong with it because it started throwing out a bunch of numbers that didn't really make sense. Also, the Refactory smart tester has come offline. That's gone back to them as well for fixing. It's only about a year old, so it's in warranty. But that one needs to be fixed. There's some problem with the cuvette where it measures the dosages for the phosphates and everything. Had some issues with it, and I'm just not sure of reliability at the moment for it. Once I get it back, it may go back online, or I may just go back to the Hannah checker for phosphates because I've just ordered some reagent. And I think future, I'm going to put a alkalinity smart tester that will test once or twice a day at least on the system. Put your comments in the description field of what you think I should add, a KH Guardian by D&D, or should I get a Refactory one? It's just, they're so costly, and I'm just trying to think outside the box on which KH smart tester I should be getting for this system. We just picked up some new stuff from my LFS store online, and I'll give them a shout out. But I'll show you what I've picked up today so you can kind of see what people are picking up these days, and just gives you a clear indication of what I'm using on the system. Let's just take this blue lens off. You can see a little bit better now. And there's the tank on a blue hue. So here we go. So I usually order from Charterhouse Aquatics in the UK. They're based in Hartford, I believe. And there's another one called Kraken Corals. I think they're up north somewhere, I might be wrong. They're really good. And yeah, this was the Kraken Corals I ordered. They give you these little cool stickers you can put inside your sump, I guess, or in your actual stand. I just think they're really cool, and shout out to Kraken Corals. I've ordered some food, I believe, and some other bits and pieces. These are like necessity things that I have to get, like I suppose once every 6 months, once a year. So the first thing out the box was I needed phosphates, Phosphate Plus by Nios. This is the one I use. I basically put it into a little another container like this with a dosing line for my Refactory X1 Pro, and that doses phosphates into my tank every day, around 3.5 mLs a day. And sometimes I do a manual dose if I see that the smart tester has picked it up and it's low. So this is what I'm dosing for phosphates. Just be careful with this stuff. It tells you the instructions on the back, but for instance, you know, if you want to bring it up by 0.01 ppm, you know, a 200 litre tank. So I always go at 200, not 2.5 or 3, because obviously with rock and dispersion. So we're saying it'll be 2 mLs of this to go in the system. So it's not a lot to bring it up a little bit. And your corals, and you know, they will need this to survive. You know, if you don't have phosphates and nitrates, your corals just won't do so well. And that's one thing I've really honed in on recently. The other thing I've worried about is my salinity. What is my salinity reading at? So I had some of this reagent to put onto my refractometer and obviously test to make sure it's at the right salinity. And I'm going to be doing that because my old one is probably about 3 years old and it's probably expired, and I just don't trust it. So I'm going to do this today, and if it's high, then I think I'm not going to panic because everything in the system is doing well. I think I'll just generally start, you know, bringing down my salinity by adding a little bit more RO water into the system, into the sump, to bring that level down, and then that's what we're going to do. So we got that, and obviously that's by Fauna Marine, which I love the company. They're really cool. We've got some coral food. I'm using this now. This is by Salifert. You can read coral food. I'm just dosing 10 mils into the tank two to three times a week. And then it's, you know, it's got vitamins, carbohydrates. My coral's really responding to this. And even though the Red Sea, I think pound for pound, if you get the 1 litre one, it's about round about the same cost. It might be a bit cheaper. I just felt this did really well, and I don't have to keep this refrigerated as far as I'm aware. I think I just can put it in my cupboard, and yeah, this just works really well for me. I don't have to store it in the fridge, I think. So yeah, I've got this now and happy. We've got the reagents from, this is for the Hannah and this is for phosphates. So I'm going to be testing phosphates and nitrates today to make sure exactly where I'm at. And I do that once a week on nitrates and phosphates to keep everything into where it's going. The other thing I've picked up is that I've used before. This one is a newer one and it's cheaper than the rest. Is again Refactory, Reflab. So yeah, it's by Refactory, I believe. So it's manganese, and your LPS, as in your gonies and alves, will really benefit from this. And it's something they thrive upon. So anything like this you have to be careful with. Realistically, you should be doing an ICP test, but I think I'll be dosing half the recommended amount, whatever the dosage is per week, per day, and just really see how it goes. I've used it before. I did notice that my corals responded, and I've noticed that some of my short gonoporas, the burnoporid, I think they're called, is they've really closed up, and I think it's a lack probably of something that I'm not giving the corals, and I think this was a great shout to get today. So really happy with that. Another thing is to maintain your RO systems. I've got the DI resin pouch, it's 1 litre, yeah, it's in a sealed vacuum bag, which I really like, and I can use this obviously to replace. I'm going to change out my cartridges. I think I do them every 6 months regardless, and I'll change out this as well, just to keep my water super polished when I'm doing RO water for the top off and I'm doing new water for the system. The other things I'm checking on obviously and buying is food for the fish, and I like to pick these up sometimes from my local LFS store, but I'll pick them up online. Usually they have a better selection. So we just picked up some brine shrimp, and we've got some mysis and garlic, so we'll use them, and they should be doing really well. And I think that was about it on the box side of things. On the delivery, it is. So I hope you've kind of enjoyed this video today. It was just a quick rundown of what I'm using, kind of things to look out for, and dial in. And I'm always trying to keep this glass super clean for these videos. Just put that yellow lens back on. So yeah, I'm always cleaning this glass anyway, and it was cleaned yesterday, so it's not too bad. But from time to time, you really need to get to these corners and get in here with a blade. But I use long arm gloves to clean my system, because in case there's any creams or anything on my skin, just to avoid that. And I think that's everything today. We won't touch on the sump because there's nothing upgraded or new on there. Everything is doing well. I think in the future, I may be changing out the protein skimmer, either back to the Deltec DC versions, but just because they were so quiet and super reliable. My jump skimmer from MaxSpect is doing really well, but I feel like sometimes it's just not skimming enough, and I don't know if that's lack of nutrients or just it's not doing as it should be. So we'll touch bases on that in the future. Guys, I really appreciate all the subscribers following the channel. I know these videos can be long-winded and a little bit tedious on some of the stuff I've shared, but I just want to really share on a day-to-day basis as well what's going on with the tank and what upgrades and things are happening. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you on the next one. You take care. Bye.